What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. I'm live right now. I figure I'd go live here to talk a little bit about my hunting experience over at the King Kon show. It was an event that happened just yesterday here in New Jersey. Shout out to Greg and the rest of the crew that helped put this event together. The King Kon show was essentially a mini Comic Con or expo, whatever you want to call it, that started last year. They had kicked it off for the first time. I missed the first year round, so this was my first chance being able to go, and as this was their second show, so I was really excited for this. There were a ton of community members here. Let me turn off some of this rock and roll jam here. So yeah, I figure I would want to kind of go live here for a little bit and show off some things, because I got some good books. I got a big book. I had a budget, and I actually did keep to it, but in a way that I made some trades. I worked out some deals and moved some books around that allowed me to also get a pretty big book in my collection now that I'm really excited to show off here today. First, before I get into all that, take a moment, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like I said, there are a ton of folks there that, part of this comic book community. It was really a fantastic time to be able to see everybody. It felt like Terrificon from last year. Terrificon was, to me, like one of the best shows I've ever experienced, and a lot of it had to do with the community. And so this show, the King Kon show, was very much that. It was actually a lot of the guys that were there at Terrificon were also at this event, and it definitely was a perfect spot for anybody in the tri-state area. We had people that came up from Baltimore. We had people that came out from Chicago. We had people who came down from Rhode Island and just all of North Connecticut. So it was really cool to see everybody, or a lot of people that were there hanging out. And it was a really, really good crowd. I'd say over, I don't know, I heard the number 400, so like over 400 attendees hanging out there, or, between coming and going. So real quick, I want to say hello to the chat, because I see some people hanging out here, and then I'll get to the books because I want to show off. Like I said, I got a really big book in this deal that I worked out. And then I want to explain kind of how I worked this deal out. And I'm curious for anybody watching right now or watching the replay, like, have you ever done trades with people, or, kind of sold things for other items, certain books for other books, and things like that. So we'll get into some of that. And I also, found a couple dollar bin books, which was nice as well. My goal here was spend $50, no more, no less. Well, yeah, at least no more. So I'll show you how I did with all that. But let me say a quick hello to the chat. See, we got some folks hanging out. My man, Back Issues Paulie, he was at the show. It was great to see you, Paulie. We had met up at Terrificon a few nights back last year, which was a great time, and I'm looking forward to that again. But so Paulie was at the show yesterday, so it was great to catch up with him for a bit. Like I said, a lot of familiar faces, and just some great people from the community that were there. We got my man Sean, aka Slim Comics and More, which, by the way, congrats to you, Slim. I know you just crossed 1K. He's having a 1K party later today, I think 6 o'clock Eastern. So I'll definitely try to swing by for some of that. That should certainly be a good time, and you're a good dude, man. So I'm glad that you hit that 1K now. Uncanny Swag is asking a question here. What's a budget? Yeah, that's I think it's I don't know, it's another language, so I don't know what it means. I hear the word thrown around. It was I've been good. I've been doing good. So trying to maintain that. But I'll get into those details in a bit. But good to see you, Swag. Comics versus the World. What's going on, man? It says good evening. Looking forward to seeing what you grab. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I saw your comment earlier. I got to get back to everybody over on Instagram. I was posting a bunch of reels and things like that. So trying to show off some of the fun that we had going on there. And so, yeah, that was good times for sure. Mercy Collectibles also in the house, hanging out from Sweden. He says, jealous of you guys who went to the con. Yeah, it was a really cool experience for sure. And, again, I'm lucky to be in the area that I am because of the fact that there's so many folks that are in travel distance to going to an event like this, something that's in central Jersey essentially. So for me, it was only a little more than 30 minutes away. So I certainly can't complain. Very convenient for me. And like I said, we had folks from the city coming through. We had people from down south. We had Connecticut and so on and so forth. So definitely a great crew. Copy 801, dude. I thought you were going to be there, man. I thought Copy was going to be there. I did not see him. I don't know if we missed each other. But I did not see you there, my friend. But I hope you're doing well. I'll definitely show the goods off here in a sec. We got my dad in the chat as well. Dad, I was talking about you yesterday as well to some friends. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. We got Damien in the house. What's going on? Sleepy Reader 666 hanging out with us as well. We have what's going on? Jeffrey, thanks for stopping in as well. Yeah, Slim, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I said, Slim's doing his 1K tonight at 6 Eastern, I believe. Yeah, let's see. A budget is when Mama says, "No, you're not." Yeah, exactly. Gotta keep it within that number. Let's see. Sleepy says, "GoFundMe the endless comic budget." Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Put that out there. Oh, we got my man Eric Azor's Tiger, a mutant brother. Good to see you, Eric. Let's see. Yep, absolutely. Hey, we got Kyle in the house as well, promiscuous time traveler. Yes, shout out to the dad indeed. Let's see. Copy says he had the flu. Ugh. Yeah, no, I'm glad you stayed home then. I hope you're feeling better. But I am glad that you didn't bring the flu our way. So I hope you're back to 100%. If not, I hope you are very soon. We are not worthy, Eric. So all right, so like I said, I got a big book I want to show off here. I made some trades, and I'm curious if any of you do any trades yourself, or a combination of trade / money for bigger books that you're trying to acquire. I actually had kind of gotten the idea or the inspiration from Paul PJ Morris over on Instagram, and like I obviously I've heard of people trading and doing things like that, but one thing that Paul had really like inspired me was last year at Terrificon, which I keep mentioning here. He brought a bunch of books with him as like kind of trade bait, things that have value, that he is okay potentially trading if it's worth something that he sees some sort of opportunity. Because at the end of the day, you never know when you're going to come across an opportunity where someone has a great book for a fantastic price, and it's something on your hunt list, something that you wanted to acquire for a long time. I think it's good to have some of that trade bait, because obviously not all of us can just shell out $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on the fly necessarily to buy a book. And if we are, like, we're usually we're well prepared, and we've been preparing for a long time. So for a show like this, King Kon, I like I said, I had a budget $50, but I did want to have a couple extra books with me in case I saw an opportunity for a book in which I could kind of do some trades for, and that's what happened. So very lucky for what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to show you some of the smaller books first. And like I said, anybody watching right now, or if you're watching the replay, I put the link to the King Kon Show in the description. It's the Instagram account. Go check them out there. I know Greg is one of the operators of putting this whole event together. Like I said, last year was the first year that they had put King Kon together. So it's really cool that they're making this like an annual thing now. And there were a ton of vendors, a ton of friends, people that had table booths set up. Like there was 3 Men in a Basement that was there. Very Gary was there. Erod 212, he was set up there, hanging out with the NY Warriors. Streetside Anthony had a booth there. He was hanging out. Great talking with him. Michael the Beast Benson, he had a table. Zap Comics had a table. My local comic shop, which was cool. I saw Kyle's Comics from that I've met through Instagram, and I know him as a local guy here in New Jersey. He had a booth set up, so nice talking with him. Gerard and Exclusionary Comics, they had a booth set up that I was hanging out with for a while as well. So yeah, just a lot of familiar faces and a lot of folks that I ran into from the community saying hi, taking pictures, videos. You guys may have seen it over on Instagram. It was a fantastic time. Got to hang out with my boy Morbius, Paul, PJ Morris. He came down from Rhode Island, so that was awesome. He brought the family. Paul Morbius brought the family as well. Great to see just all those great people. Sove Collector, he was in the house. He came out of nowhere. Did not expect to see him there. And he drove down like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive just for the day as well. So that was amazing to see him. Pressable Defects was there hanging out. I saw Jay, Matt, and Guy. It was great to see those guys as well. I believe they were one of the sponsors of the show also. So yeah, just shout out to everybody that was there, especially the folks who had really put effort into, setting up or helping out or promoting or anything like that. I definitely recommend this show. If you ever get a chance, I could see the show just growing more and more and more, and I hope it does. So, Greg, if you're watching, anyone else is part of the King Kon crew, if you're watching, shout out to you folks, because you did a tremendous job, and definitely looking forward to more of those in the future. Yeah, like I said, people that were hanging out there, so many great folks. So a few more people in the chat right now. We got Nicholas in the house. What is going on, brother? We also got Uni X, my dude. Good to see you. Also, we got Reboot hanging out with us as well. He says, "I seen you in the background of a live sale." Reboot. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I saw. I think it was like the guys from Elite were doing a live sale with Kyle's Comics, who was the one I mentioned earlier. Kyle's a good guy, and I know he's done a lot of work with them. So I saw at one point he was doing lives, but who knows? There might have been some other lives going on as well. A lot of people were streaming, which was cool. I saw Mercy said, I'm trying to get more into it. I did my first quote unquote big trade this past month, or this past Monday, actually. Cool. Very cool. Yeah. So talking about trades, trying to make do with the books that you have and not necessarily have to pull out of your bank account or out of your wallet in order to make other things work out. Kyle says, I always carry an Ultimate Fallout 4, 1 in 25 as trade bait. I mean, that's a solid book, Kyle. That's a solid book. We got Candace in the house. What's going on, Candace? I just saw Candace was hanging out with Haley, Shy Comic Girl, over in Chicago. I know they're both out in Chicago, so it's nice to see you girls getting together and hanging out as well. Yeah, Copy saying, hope to be for the next convention for sure. Copy. I hope. I know 3 Men in a Basement. They're doing their comic book swap in Connecticut in May. That's probably one of my next ones I want to try to go to. So copy. Maybe I'll see you over there. All right, let's get into some of the books here because I want to run through some of the smaller ones real quick. By the way, I just had my battery, my mouse batteries were leaking with like blew up inside my mouse. It was not cool. It was all a mess. So I had to clean that up as I was trying to get ready for all this stuff. Oh, hey now, something wrong. What's going on, brother? Just about to get into my books that I got from King Kon. We got Chillmonger also hanging out. Very cool. I was thinking of that, Candace. Oh, nice. Yeah. Good to see you folks. Yeah. So I'm gonna get into some of these books. So I found these at a vendor I did not know. I was not familiar with this guy, but a really nice guy. Actually, he had his whole family there with him. So I grabbed a couple dollar books, and these were all X-Men books that I just, for $1, there were some Jim Lee covers. There was some, mid 200s, early 300s that I'm like, okay, nice condition. I know I'm going to want to collect the rest of this run at some point, even though it hasn't necessarily been my goal. But I wanted to grab what I could for $1. Like I said, I mean, this was really, I thought, mispriced for all this. Oh, and actually, he gave me 20% off because I bought 10 $1 books. So again, this was on a budget, folks. So $50 on a budget. I was trying to keep it within that. So I got X-Men 320, and a lot of these I've never read. So I definitely have, my goal is to just own all the Uncanny stuff at some point. I have a much smaller goal right now, just completing the Dave Cockrum and John Byrne stuff with Claremont. But this will be later at some point. So I figured, yeah, for $1, let me grab these. So I've never read some of these, but they look really cool. That was 320. We got 307 here. Again, not as familiar with some of these stories, but I do recognize a lot of these covers. This was just a dope cover as well. 356, a little bit later on there. But I thought the artwork there was really cool. We had 308, which again, I feel like I've seen a lot of these kind of classes. This is John Romita Jr. Yeah, okay, yep. Some junior, John Romita Jr. there. 227, this was like an earlier 200s issue, which again, for $1, I will absolutely buy these all day. So 227, got my girl Storm on the cover there with the rest of the team. Very, very cool artwork. Let's see. Mercy said, winding down with this live after a day of adventure. Did you? Yeah. I mean, that's I think this is a great way to wind it down, right? Hey, we got my man John from John's Comics with Kids. Says some X-Men goodness. I had to find some X-Men, man, especially for $1. I think that's well worth it. Yeah, copy. You know what's up. Let's see. Do they have? Do they got to be first printing or facsimile? I would like to have first printing. That would be my goal. I'm not crazy about anything past that in terms of facsimiles. I do have some facsimiles that are like the FF1 and X-Men 1 facsimiles, things like that. Some of the super old and rare books that I will never own except for the X-Men 1 that I do own. But a lot of them I would probably prefer just to get the cheap ones anyways. I'd rather just get the first editions of each, or first printings, I should say. So this 286 is Jim Lee, again, for $1, for $1, 286. This is beautiful. Beautiful cover. Love the bright greens, the colors. Yeah, absolutely stunning. So yeah, for $1, I will take that every time. That was 286's 252, who I am not familiar with the guys on this cover, at least not from those drawings, but that looked yeah, like I said, it was part of this group. He was telling me someone else kind of like took him for everything else that he already had, so I was kind of bummed that I got to him as late as I did. John said I've been snagging Modern Mutant keys first two. Yeah, think. Glad you bring that up, because I will get to that in a second. Definitely for cheap deals for sure if you can get them. 303. Did not have this. I feel like I recognize a lot of those early 300s a lot more than some of these other random issues, but yeah, beautiful cover there. And yeah, like I said, I think I would like to at some point just own all this stuff. So I figured, why not for $10, really $8, because he knocked off 20%. The deal was if you bought 10 or more than 10, you got 20% off all these dollar books. So another one there, 313. My girl Storm too at the bottom. Thought that was dope. Really cool artwork there. Let's see. And then two more here. I got 301. Another kind of a wild cover here, but Mystique on the front there. Man, I tell you, man, Mystique is awesome. I love that character. John and I were just breaking that down with Eric, actually, Azor's Tiger, talking about Mystique and some other things with the Avengers 10, Annual 10. And obviously, Mystique played a really big role in that. I never read that book up until this time for the Omni X-Men show. And that, I mean, seeing more of that, like Mystique is just, it's so tricky with stories. Like writers could do so much when Mystique's involved, because you can't trust anybody. You don't know, who's real and who's Mystique. So yeah, big fan. And then this one here, 272. I think this is Jim Lee as well. Yep, Jim Lee and Williams. So beautiful cover there. Got my boy Wolvie at the bottom there. So really good stuff there as well. Lady Deathstrike was the one on that cover. Okay, good call, Swag. Good call. He says, can never go wrong with X-Men. I totally agree. John, you had mentioned Sync, and I got it. Same guy, same vendor, and I should have got the guy's name. He was a nice guy. So same vendor. This was $5. It was not in the dollar bin, but I will still take it. Anytime you find this book, $5 or less. This is the first appearance of Sync. This is what John had brought up here just a few moments ago. So this is X-Men 36 from Volume 2. So X-Men 36, Volume 2. And this is, I believe, my second copy now. Andy Kubert did the artwork for this. So yeah, good stuff there. 90s goodness for a character who has been really awesome in the more recent X-Men run, being part of the new X-Men team. If you've been following along, you know what's going on with him. I've had folks say that he is even I'm kind of agreeing with this, but I've had folks say that he is the better rogue. As some of his powers, the idea of it, kind of how he can take, or borrow other people's powers the way Rogue can, except Rogue has to touch them. He doesn't have to. I kind of like that. So let's see a few more folks in the chat here. Haley, Shy Comic Girl, shout out to you. I just mentioned you as I saw Candace in the chat as well. Saw you girls got together over in Chicago. So good to see you. She says, can't wait to catch the replay. Thanks so much for swinging by. Yeah, Johnny Boy is psychic. Mega bargain. I 100% agree, man. Yeah, Omega level, absolutely. Really nice condition too. There's no spine ticks, nothing like that. So, I mean, a lot of these books, especially of this era, I mean, you should be able to find them in a pretty high, grade or condition, I should say. I just go buy a lottery ticket. Go now. Sync is the better rogue, said by Other folks. It was John. All right. So I didn't want to put words in your mouth, John, if I was not correct about that, or if it was Eric or who it was. I know I've heard this, but I remember us making jokes about some people. I think it was like Jay Hood who completely disagreed, and I think he lost a subscriber. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely I'm on board with that statement there. So yeah. All right. Next couple of books, I got a total of five five more altogether, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how I went about this trade, this big book that I got, the trade, how it went down, because it wasn't a clean, like simple trade. I had to kind of finagle some things and make things work in order to get this book. So, but before I get into that, so randomly. So I've been doing a lot with I've been talking a lot of Doctor Strange recently, and especially with my man Paul, aka PJ Morris, over on Instagram. He and I had just broke down this book right here, the Strange issue number 1. Just showing this for a second. This was not part of my haul, but we've been breaking this down. I think we're going to continue on as these issues come out. And also, like a month ago, Paul and I had talked about The Oath by Brian K. Vaughan. We broke that down. It was a 5-issue miniseries that we really enjoyed. I've just been on this Doctor Strange kick, so because of that, I was digging through the Doctor Strange bins, and I found this really cool cover of Clea, who Clea is currently the Supreme Sorcerer Supreme. I've kind of fallen for Clea here, and definitely been keeping an eye out for more covers of her or with her. I haven't read this. I think this is volume 3, maybe. It's with Isherwood is the artist. This is from Doctor Strange 39, and I got this for a couple $3. So just thought it was a cool cover. I would like to read some of this stuff. So this was just me flipping through, finding a cool cover, and being a fan of the characters. So this is kind of where I'm at with some of this. My other goal right now is to get like 116, or sorry, Doctor Strange 1 through 16 is kind of my current goal right now for the earlier stuff. That's volume 2. I haven't really set a goal for the stuff even earlier than that. I know that Strange Tales, there's a lot of those books too. That's where a lot of the money comes from, or a lot of the money is in those books. But shout out to Paul, shout out to Morbius as well. I know he's on the hunt for some of these books right now, and then both of them have been an inspiration for me to continue to dig for some of these awesome covers. So again, I would like to get some more of the Bruner stuff. That's kind of where my head is right now. So let's see. Time Traveler says Clea got a downgrade in my opinion. I talking about from the new book. I really liked her in the new. I loved how like sassy she was and like put Doom in his place. I thought that was fantastic. John says, I love how you're getting into that strange universe. Yeah, it is a very strange universe. It's a wild ride. It's been a wild ride. The artwork's fantastic. It's very trippy and colorful, and especially the earlier stuff, that universe type stuff, which we get a taste of in X-Men, John, right, from time to time. So it's nice to kind of keep that going. All right, so keeping on to the Doctor Strange stuff, I want to shout out my man Erod212 over on Instagram. I've known him for a couple years now. He's a great guy for the community. The content he puts out over on his YouTube channel is fantastic. He's helping out a lot of the younger, newer collectors, people that are just getting into the hobby, trying to figure out kind of, good deals when you can find them. He does a lot of it by his own practice. Like he goes in, he shows what he gets, and kind of explains why he got these books and when he got them. And he's just a very knowledgeable guy. He talks a lot about pressing and how to be careful about buying certain books and what to look for, things like that. So huge shout out to Eric Erod. He was set up over at the booth at King Kon. He had the NY Warriors. He's part of the NY Warriors. It was Biggie was there, Joker was there. Big Lion Cat was there, Manny was there, a bunch of guys were there, so it was really cool. And I got these 2 books from him, and these 2 are part of the volume 2 that I was just talking about, where I'd like to get issues 1 through 16. So I got Doctor Strange issue number 8, again, my girl Clea on the front. Dormammu also, like, love how this is like, it almost reminds me of like the Doctor Doom covers where Doom is like glooming over the team or over the city or something like that. So this was really cool to have Dormammu here, looking over Doctor Strange and Clea here. Not sure what's happening or where they're running, but yeah, so this is issue number 8. He said the dread Dormammu lives again and Doctor Strange must die. So yeah, definitely got to read something that has that on the front, right? Rites of passage, rites of death. So good stuff there. And then the other one I got was issue number 9 Again, another awesome Dormammu cover, along with my girl Clea. They're hanging for dear life at the bottom. Definitely some really, really great stuff. So nice little continuation of what looks to be this kind of mini story. Looks like Atkins has done the cover, at least of this one. I don't see the signature on 8, but yeah, and I'd like to, like I said, I know Bruner had done some of the earlier stuff, so that's another, I mean, some beautiful stuff there. So got these two together. They were marked at 15 a piece. He gave them to me for 25. And again, like just a really nice thing for him to do. I didn't even say anything. Like I just assumed to pay 30. Erod just said, give me 25. I appreciate when vendors and community members do things like this and hook people up. And especially, I like I said, I didn't even ask for it. It wasn't even a thought. So Erod, thank you again for the deal, for the great books. Really nice condition, I might add as well. He had a ton more there. Like I said, trying to be on my budget, trying to be good, keeping it under 50. So I was able to manage that. And it was cool talking with Erod. He had pointed out that King Kon, another great thing about King Kon was this was a community expo, a community con. So in other words, it was something where it was folks from the community selling to the community and at prices that were really there to help the community. No one was there to take advantage of someone else with pricing or overprice a book or anything like that. Most of the books that I saw there were very fair deals, if not fantastic deals. So I appreciate that again from all the vendors who were involved in all that fantastic stuff. So I just like how Erod put it. This is the Comic-Con for the community. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more next year for that as well. Got two more books here I'm going to show. I see we got Gore in the house. What's going on, Gore? He says, like we recommended on the Doctor Strange show, everything from the 60s Ditko through Paul Smith's Doctor Strange is good. So yeah, is that part of small? I'm wondering if, because this is the one that I bought that's a little bit later on. I don't know if this is actually part of the, maybe it is volume 2 still, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, this is 92. So I don't know. I'm going to open it up really quick. Let's see. However, I don't spend that much time in the dark dimensions, so I'm not sure that that's inhospitable or not. Oh, he's talking about his comment from above. Hey, we got Guy Forge in the house. He was another one that was at the show. Awesome stuff, man. Great to see Guy. Great to see the pressable defects. Really was nice to catch up with them. And again, like I said, just see some familiar faces and some great community members. So yeah, got to hang out with Guy for a bit. Nice to hang out and talk with him. I wanted to just open this up real quick. So I wanted to see, man, this thing is like never been opened. Yeah, I think this is later. Man, the paper's so nice here. How come Marvel doesn't do this type of paper anymore? Let's see, Williamson, Roy and Dan Thomas were the writers. Okay. Jeff Isherwood did the penciling. So Gore, I'm curious your thoughts on this particular run with Roy Thomas, if that was something that you felt was good or not. But yeah, I grabbed it for the cover and it had Clay on the front, so I was all in. Let's see. Let me scroll down here for a bit. Candace said, oh my God, I didn't realize the show was run by the community and for the community. That's so freaking cool. Absolutely. It really was. Like I said, all the vendors, a majority of the vendors there were just like friends of the community, people that I met through Instagram, people that I met through YouTube, a lot of the content creators that are out there that had set up booths and things like that. So really cool. Hey, we got my man Puff Comics in the house. What's going on, Puff? Thanks for stopping by. I got one more book, big book that I want to show off here. Oh, sorry, two more. Let me get to that real quick. Chillmonger talking about the paper. Yeah, Marvel paper is the Subway tuna. It's not really what it's supposed to be. Yeah, the current stuff is terrible. I mean, that was nice. That was like DC book is what it reminded me of, DC paper. Speaking of DC, I bought one of my first Batman books that I decided to buy. I've been eyeing Batman books now recently, and Detective Comics is not good for my wallet, that's for sure. But I've been eyeing some of these, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm going to be buying some books. That's my plan anyways. So, and on a budget, on a deal, if I can find something, I'm not going crazy. I don't necessarily want to get the keys per se, unless it's a fair, pricing or whatever. Thank you, man. Built that with my own two hands right there. Little bit of me in that hammer. swag. All right, so this is Batman book. I thought it was a dope cover. I was going through looking at some of the covers from the Volume 1 Batman series, and this was one on my list. I found it for $5. It was at a different vendor. I forget who it was, but this is issue 393. And one of the reasons I put this one specifically on my list, because a lot of mine on my list had like Catwoman on the front cover, who else? A Batgirl on the front cover, things like that. Robin, I wanted to get more with Robin as well. But this one in particular reminded me of the movie. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't seen the movie yet, but there was just certain scenes that reminded me of this. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And it was just, yeah, really cool. So I thought it was awesome. Obviously, a lot of knives are kind of attacking him there. But yeah, don't know much about it. Doug Monch, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Paul Galucki doing the creative team there. So anyways, really cool stuff and a really nice condition, like a solid black cover. Tough to find in those nicer conditions. So yeah, hey, we got Bobby in the house station, Bobby Delgado. Let's see. Next year, Mercy says, next year, if I don't make it to King Kon, I'll send an iPad for you guys to walk around and just film everything. Yeah, I mean, I certainly could do that for you, my friend. Okay, last book here. It's the big book, and like I said, I had to do some finagling, had to do some trades here. So I had originally, let me just name the 4 books that I named actually. So I had originally, I brought 4 books with me for potentially for trade. One of them was Savage She-Hulk issue 1, the original, her first appearance in a 9.6 CGC. That's a book that I bought for $30 off the rack over 3 years ago, over at Zap Comics. And then another book that I had was Captain America issue 103. Not necessarily a key of any sense, but it was just a really old book. I don't have it out at the moment. But yeah, just an old book, Captain America 103. And it was in a 9.2, so fairly high grade for an older book like that, a Silver Age book. I got that from Otto, actually, from 3 Men in a Basement a while ago, and was able to buy it for fairly cheap. I mean, for what it is, I think I got it for like $70 or something. And I looked at it now; it's over 200. It's like a $250 book right now, at least currently. The other one that I had brought with me to trade was Avengers 83, which is, I think it's a first appearance of, I think, the Libertarians, if correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the first appearance of Libertarians, and then also like there's an Enchantress first appearance, but it's not really Enchantress type thing. So I kind of forget, or Valkyrie. Maybe it's like first appearance of Valkyrie, but that turns out to be Enchantress. That's what it is. I got that in a 7.0. Bought that for $70. That book's going for about $250 as well right now in a 7.0. So I brought that with me. And then I also bought Captain America issue 117 with me as, again, this is all books I brought with me as trade base. So Captain America 117, that's the first Falcon, for, Sam Wilson being Falcon. That is a 7.0 that I had. And so that if any of the 4, that was the one I didn't want to necessarily get rid of, but it was also the one that is worth the most. And I got it for a great deal back before it blew up. I got it for like $250. I sent it into CGC myself. It came back as 7.0. It's spiked as high as over $1,000. I think right now it's valued at like $750, $800 right now in the 30-day average. So that was a book. Again, I feel like there's more room for growth on that, and I kind of want to hang on to it. It is a Silver Age book. It is a key appearance. I know there's a lot more coming with Captain America. I love Sam Wilson as Captain America. I thought that Falcon Winter Soldier series was awesome. So that was another reason I kind of wanted to keep it, just because I enjoyed it so much and I enjoy the characters. So those 4 books I brought with me, and I had my heart set on Nyx 3 at a high grade. Nyx 3 is the first appearance of Laura Kinney. She is aka X-23, aka Wolverine, the current day Wolverine, at least in with the new X-Men and things like that, her being part of the team. I had just done a breakdown with Haley not too long ago where we talked about All New, All Different Wolverine, that series. We read the first 6 issues of that. I need to keep going with that, by the way, because I've been really enjoying that series from what I've read, and it was a lot of fun breaking that down. And I've just been really falling for Laura Kinney in general, especially with the new X-Men stuff that she's included in, all through what Hickman has done, and now even more so with Jerry Duggan and what he's doing with the character, and also even just the relationship between her and Sync, all this other stuff. I was talking about Sync earlier. So yeah, I'm really enjoying a lot of that stuff, and so because of that, I felt that this is a book I would like to own. I'd love to have it in my PC, and I'd love to have it in my PC at a time that I well, one, I could get a high grade. Two, right now, because I think now's the time. I mean, if for any X-Men book, any mutant book, I think now is the time to kind of try to collect what you can, whatever you can afford, wherever you can work out with your budget, but to get before anything crazy comes out. Because that's the thing for me. Like, I'm not looking to get these books so I can flip them or anything like that. And I'm an X-Men fan. I want to keep these long term. These are my PC. The X-Men one that I have, the giant size X-Men, like those are books that are lifelong books that I like to keep for a very long time. So that to me is, I'm just trying to get these books before all these other ones blow up. So I was lucky enough to get giant size X-Men 1 before the big blow up. I won the X-Men 1. I have, X-Men 12, X-Men 14, so on and so forth. So I have a lot of the key books, but this is one of the last mutant books that I'm missing. So I'm glad that I was able to get that. So this is the book. I'll pull it up here. Let me take it out of this thing here. And again, I did not pay anything for this. I was able to work out and sell or trade some of those books that I just mentioned. I'll tell you how I went about doing it, because I didn't trade all of them. So there it is. It's a CBCS, old label CBCS, 9.4 white pages. And I'm so excited to finally have this book. Such a beautiful, beautiful cover. And for a modern book, especially, just such a great character, Laura Kinney. I even have, I've been buying more covers with Laura on the front, Laura and Gabby, if I can get Gabby's, covers as well, variants and things like that. Just a big fan. So really excited to have this in the PC. The other cool thing, one, I should shout out Zap Comics, because I actually, it's funny, I out of all the folks I constantly buy from my LCS, Zap, right, it ends up that I go to their booth at the show and work out a deal with Ben, one of the co-owners there. So shout out to you, Ben and Corey and the rest of the Zap crew, because you guys are the best LCS in the world. So I was glad I was able to work something out there. So got this in a 9.4. Cool thing about this, it's an old CBCS label. There is a lot of room to grow with this, and that's saying that at a 9.4. I was actually mentioning this to John yesterday. The spine, there are a couple little non-color breaking spine ticks on the, I don't know if you're going to be able to actually see that, but on the cover, there are two non-color breaking spine ticks. And other than that, it's a beautiful book. So I think that if I were to try, I could have this sent in, cracked open. I'd probably prefer it to go back to CGC, get it pressed and cleaned, whatever is needed, get those two minor spine ticks out. So the owner, Ben, that I was talking to, that I bought this from, he said he got it from a friend of his recently who had got this slabbed early on. So think about, and we talk about this on Omni X-Men, think about like looking for these old type of slabs, these and CGC, because a lot of them, a lot of people didn't know yet how, like, to press and clean a book. So people were getting books slabbed and they weren't pressing and cleaning. Like, it wasn't a thing. Not, a couple of years ago, like as this, I think we're talking like 12 years ago, I think is when, slabbing kind of became a thing. So 12 years ago or so, correct me if I'm wrong. People were just getting them encased, and they weren't necessarily getting them to their best potential. Whereas now, obviously, a lot of folks are recommending, or they do it themselves, where they get it pressed, they get it cleaned, especially if you recognize some damages that can be pressed out, that can be fixed before it gets graded. So, we talk about this on Omni X-Men. Look for these older copies, because you can find some great deals where there are ones like that, and you can actually improve them. So again, this is a book that's going to be with me for a very long time. So I don't necessarily feel like I need to just go out of my way to do all this and spend the extra money to get it bumped or anything like that. But it's nice to know that I can if I want to. And I do feel like there's opportunity for growth in this particular copy. So maybe one day I get that submitted, cracked open again, clean, pressed. Maybe I get a 9.6. Maybe I get a 9.8. Maybe I get a 9.9. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Keeping that positive juju going out there, So anyways, really excited for this book. So here's how I kind of got it. I didn't pay anything. I did not pay anything for this book. And by the way, Damien says pressing and cleaning has only been widely discussed in the past 2 years or so. Thank you, Damien. Yeah, good point there. Definitely. Hey, we got Phil in the house. What is going on, Phil? Justin the investor. Yeah. Like I said, definitely not selling this anytime soon. As to most of my X-Men books, those, they're all keepers. So with this, I like I said, I didn't pay anything for this book. I was so Ben had this currently priced at $625, and I believe that was even as a kind of a deal because of who I am. He knows I'm a constant shopper at or loyal customer, I should say, over at Zap. I already spent a lot of money with them as it is, and so he offered this to me at $625, which was a really, really nice offer. Especially, I mean, it's a CBCS. It doesn't necessarily bother me. I know some folks, some people want to have CGC for everything, or maybe some people want to have CBCS for everything, and they want to have just one or the other, which I totally get, and I do feel that way from time to time. But again, ultimately, it doesn't bother me to just have this as it is. I also respect CBCS's grading. From what I've heard, like they are very strict, or more strict than CGC is. So if anything, I feel that's also a good sign for this to potentially have even more opportunity for growth. So yeah, very excited for this. So he offered it to me for $625, and I was trying to work deals. So what I initially offered was, I said, would you trade it for my Savage She-Hulk issue 1 at a 9.6? Unfortunately, he said they already had a bunch. He wasn't looking for that at the moment. Their supply, if anything, they have ones that they're looking to have sell at some point, or whatever the case is. And he said that if he was to do it, it would be for a lot less than what it's worth, just because they're not necessarily in need of that book. So I totally understand that. And at the end of the day, these are businesses we're talking about. They have to do what's right for the business. I totally respect that. I said, I get that. So what about some of these other books? I showed him the Captain America 103. I showed him the Captain America, Avengers 83. Showed him that one as well. He was not as interested in the Captain America 103. He did have some interest in the Avengers 83. And then I also mentioned the Captain America 117, again, a book that I did not necessarily want to get rid of, because I wanted to keep this book, but I had it just in case type thing. And when he heard that I had the 117, he was willing to do a straight trade for it. So it'd be the Captain America 117, First Falcon for Nick's 3, First Laura Kinney. And I just didn't feel good doing that. I was talking to Paul and Morbius about it. They're talking about Captain America just feels like that superior type book, and especially because it's Silver Age. It's a much older book, obviously. A very big key appearance, part of the MCU, and just plays a massive role in general. So these are all things I'm, kind of considering. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the Captain America, but I still wanted to work this out with the books that I was willing to. So even though Zap wasn't willing to buy my Savage She-Hulk at a 9.6, luckily I was able to go to Gerard, who I had mentioned earlier. He had set up with Exclusionary Comics, and he and I worked out a deal, which was awesome, because I was able to just get PayPal from him, able to take that money, put it towards this book. I also gave up my Avengers 83 to Zap, so basically was able to do this for my Savage She-Hulk issue number 1 at a 9.6 that I bought for $30 3 years ago. I basically was able to get rid of that and get rid of the Avengers 83, which I bought for $70, pressed it myself, or submitted to CGC myself, had it come back as a 7.0. So 7.0 for that Avengers 83. The two of those books I was able to make do in order to get this one without having to pay a dime. So y'all let me know what you think of that whole ordeal. If you think I got a deal, or you think that's a fair deal. I thought it was at least a fair, respectable deal. The cash went to Zap, so Zap got cash, which is great. And then they also got the Avengers 83. And then I also was able to work a deal out with Gerard to be able to move the Savage She-Hulk to a price point where he could still make out on it, and I could make out on it. So it was a very fair workout. So yeah, y'all let me know. And especially again, I wanted this book. I wanted this book. Actually, let me give a shout out to JP Collects, because he's one that really inspired me for this. JP Collects, if you don't know, he just opened up a CGC unboxing, I think last night, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago. And he got the same book at a 9.8. And just hearing him and Jimmy was with him streaming, Geek Aficionado, and just hearing them talk about it made me like, oh, there's JP there. Perfect timing. Just talking about you. You inspired me, man, to get this book, man. So because of you, bro, I had it on the mind. I got it at a 9.4, and I'm just so pumped for this. But yeah, so congrats to you, JP, for getting that 9.8. But yeah, dude, as you guys were talking about it, it's just like, I'm like, damn, this is a book I want to get. Hey, my man Jason's in the chat right now. He's a big fan. He said driving back right now from Zap. Yeah, they told me about the Knicks, man. Yeah, man. I know you. I know you're a big fan too, man. And I owe you a big inspirational credit for this as well, because you know, getting into all this X23 talk and you know, Laura Kinney talk, Jason, you've been a big part of that as well. So you know, getting that inspiration from all you guys, it's been awesome. So pumped to have this. Bobby saying smash the like button. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Towards the mayor's campaign. Thank you, brother. Hey, we got Sam in the house. What's going on, Sam? Good to see you. He says, I was hoping you would bring the 117 home as well. Good deal, Sam, my dude. So here it is. So I just got, you know, I was able to manage to keep this bad boy. So I'm glad I was able to. It is a really nice condition, 7.0 off-white to white pages that I actually, like I said, I bought this from Zap a while ago. Actually, yeah, probably right around the pandemic. And I bought it for $250 at the time. And it was raw. It was such a beautiful, bright colored book that I was just like, man, I want to have this book. And especially with like Falcon Winter Soldier and a lot of the other things coming up, like that was to me just a good opportunity to get now before things got out of hand. And obviously it's, you know, much more than that. So, yeah, so wild stuff there. Yeah, so JP talking about wheeling and dealing. I like it. Yeah, man. Didn't have to pay a dime. Very happy for that. Appreciate that, Jason. Glad you finally got her first appearance. Yeah, me too, man. I'm so pumped. It just feels good. Feels good. I saw my girlfriend, like, it just feels good to have the book now, and especially like you ever just like put it out there, like you almost like will it to happen, like whatever it is that you're trying to do, or you're trying to win something, or you're trying to buy something, or you're trying to find something, and you just got to put it out there in the universe. And I just feel like that was just something so on my mind. I was so determined. Like I just have this feeling that when I go to King Kon this weekend, I'm gonna walk out with a Knicks 23 somehow, and not just any Knicks 23, but one that I could. I mean, I want it to be a legitimate high grade, you know, type of book. So to get it at the 9.4, and like I said before, I think it could be a 9.6, maybe 9.8 if I went out of my way to get it, you know, all that pressed and clean stuff. Which again, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do that anytime soon, as I'm not looking to necessarily move it, and I'm happy with it being, you know, set up how it is. But it's just nice to know. So nice to know that I have that opportunity, that I have that option if I want, and I just nice to know that I have the book. So very, very pumped for that. Gomez in the house. What's going on, Gomez? He says, congrats on the pickup. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, Bobby, loving it, man. Loving it. Sam says, love that book. My raw copy has a pop staple, but I still have it. Hey, you still got the cover though. You still got the book. That's all that matters, man. I think that's really dope. So yeah, very, very cool there. Yeah, I mean, is it not? I mean, I'm calling it Knicks, but is it just NYX? Is that the official phrase? I haven't even read any of that series. I was talking to Paul about it. He said it was not that great of a series. The Knicks series. I don't know how many issues it is, but yeah, Uncanny says such a great book. Appreciate you, man. And again, shout out to the folks over at King Kon, because that event was absolutely amazing. If you guys missed, I posted a bunch of reels, some funny reels. I saw like with BX Boxer was there doing the chest slap, which was hilarious, and a great time talking with him again, because I got to see him a couple times throughout the year now, or last year, saw him at Terrificon. So I did a video with him, had some with 3 Men in a Basement. Shout out to Roger and Otto. Great seeing those guys as well. And like I said, just everybody that was there. Greg, the guy that ran this whole thing, did a fantastic job. They're all in some of the reels that I had put up, so go check out those videos if you haven't already. Really, really fun and funny stuff. And yeah, it's just a cool thing, man. If anybody's looking to go to an event that is like I said, an event that's put together by the community for the community, that's what this was. That's what this Comic-Con is all about. And I think that this is something that I hope we see from years to come, and we're going to see more vendors that we recognize, all these friends and folks that we meet here on a regular basis on YouTube, on Instagram, familiar faces and people who are well known and respected in this hobby. That I think it's just nice. It's just nice to see them all in one place. See great deals. Like I said, there wasn't anybody there that was really trying to spike their prices in any way. It was all very fair. A lot of great deals, a lot of great dollar bin digging, $2, $3 bin digging. And I, if anything, would like to have done more. I hope that they extend this show to a 2-day show, which would be awesome, because I just feel like I needed one day, at least like half the day, where I was just talking with folks, because I was running into everybody. It was awesome. It was so cool to see everyone there. And I feel like I need time, kind of like Terrificon, where it's like you need multiple days. So you have some time you can dedicate to hanging out with friends, talking, some time creating content, YouTube's videos, things like that, maybe live streams, and then some time to actually go digging. Because between all that, it's just not enough time necessarily to get it all in one, or it's hard to jam it all into one. So yeah, it was really cool. A couple other folks I saw there I wanted to mention. Emerald Knight was there. Great to see Emerald Knight. I mentioned Michael Benston, Michael the Beast Benston. He was there. Who else? I was talking to Sove Collector came down. That was awesome to see Sove. That was a nice surprise. Didn't realize he was going to be there. Man, I just had another name in my head. I mentioned Paulie. He was here in the chat earlier. Yeah, let's see. Chillmonger says Nick's is Nick's is bad. It's valuable. Okay, fair. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's not great. What's the next the event you're planning on visiting? So Reboot. I'm going to go to in May. 3 Men in a Basement. They're doing their comic swap. If you guys don't know, they've done a few of these now. Probably 4 or 5 over the past 2 years or 3 years. Where it's very community focused. Everybody comes, sets up. They have a lot of them have their own tables. I think you can get your own table, and it's more about trading and swapping, like literally swapping books, more so than just selling. I mean, yes, I think you can sell. I think there are things for sale, but a lot of it is more about working out deals, bringing kind of raw books and slab books that you're willing to kind of wheel and deal with. So you definitely do something like that. And again, it's all very community focused. There's gonna be a lot of community members there. And I think that that in itself is worth it to just go and explore and see friends and people. So I'm definitely looking forward to that next. That's May. I'm not sure of the official date yet, but definitely check out 3 Men in a Basement. Go check out their YouTube channel or their Instagram channel, or reach out to one of the guys because they can fill you in on more details. I'll probably be posting more about it as that gets closer. Other than that, that's in May. So then what we have July, we have Terrificon, which again, I highly recommend going to Terrificon. That's a great event, especially it's at a casino. It's over in Connecticut in the Mohegan Sun Casino. So, it's a ton of things to do, not just for the collector or the comic book hobbyist, but also for the families. I mean, there's a lot of different things for the families to do. Bring your significant other, and have fun with it. Obviously, there's casino, there's shows, there's tons of restaurant, good food, things like that. And the event itself is really, really great. They get a lot of big named artists and writers and so on and so forth that you can meet. So that's something to keep in mind. That's coming up later at the end of July. I'll be there for that, at least for Saturday, Sunday. And then the week after that, I'll be in Chicago, C2E2, going to be hanging out with Haley, and Candace and everyone else that's out there. Alex, that's another one. Alex, I wanted to shout out. AGS Comics. He flew in from Chicago, and Nigel was too. He came in from Baltimore. Actually, I'm not even sure if he flew in from Baltimore. That man travels so much. He might have flown in from another state, but either way, Nigel was there. He was just in my neck of the woods. Actually, I mean, he was just hanging out at Zap Comics with Jason and a few of the other guys that I saw at Zap Comics. I wish I was able to make it earlier, but I wasn't. But yeah, really cool to just see everybody coming together. Like I said, PJ Paul, he came down from Rhode Island, so really, really nice to see everybody there. Carlito, sorry man, I think I missed you earlier. Carlito in the chat, good to see you, my friend. So yeah, those are just a few. And then I'm going to be out in Vegas in October. I got Baltimore in October. Looking forward to that. Going to see my dad in October. I believe he's going to have a booth set up in Baltimore this year. So really excited. If you ever wanted to go meet Greg LaRoque, he'll be there. Yeah, looking forward to that as well. Sam says I'm hoping they have one during the summer month as I visit my daughter in Jersey for every summer. Oh, Sam, that's awesome, man. I didn't realize that. I mean, there's always something going on. So let me tell you, there is a, and I don't know his name. There's a guy who runs a monthly expo. It's really almost weekly. It's an expo here in New Jersey that's like, it's probably 3 weeks a month, where on a Sunday, it's on a Sunday, and it rotates around to different cities. So he has one in Old Bridge, and it's just an expo. It's just a one-day expo. It's kind of like King Kon. It's a bit smaller, I would say, maybe half the size of King Kon. If you saw this year's King Kon, I mean, I guess I can't compare it to last year's because I heard that this year's King Kon was much bigger than last year's. So it is definitely bigger than there's so this expo, this rotating expo, this goes on throughout the year. I don't know how they manage it. It's basically all local vendors that come, and they just set up tables. Sometimes you'll get like Zap Comics there. You'll get a couple other was A&S that's in New Jersey here, T-Neck, and a couple other vendors, some local vendors, things like that that set up. And that's a great opportunity if you're just looking to hunt for the weekend. It's nothing big, like it's not like a artist or anything that really come or anything. But if you're strictly there to just hunt, make some deals. You see some of the familiar faces. I mentioned Kyle's Comics. He's usually always there. Poison Dragon Comic, Rich, he's usually there as well. I missed him at this show. Apparently he was there earlier yesterday and I missed him. But anyways, Sam, to answer your question, I'm sure you could try to catch that schedule because there's one in Clifton. There's one in Wayne, which is right near Zap. You could make that whole trip, Sam. I don't know what part of Jersey you visit, but if you could go to Zap Comics, that is worth the trip all on its own. So hit up Zap, hit up the event in Wayne. I know Zap usually has a show. I think that's coming up in September this year, which that's another one I got to put on my list. That's usually September, so I'm looking forward to that. Trying to think of any other summer ones, but definitely keep an eye out or reach out to me, man. I know I can send you the whole link or whatever it is that they put because they schedule like a couple months out, so or at least a month out. So that's a good opportunity there. Let's see. So Gore's talking about X-23. He says X-23 is a fascinating character. I have most of her storylines from the 2000s until the 2010, including the brutal X-Force stories where she is absolutely vicious. I heard. I need to read that. I own one of the issues, but the X-Force stuff is that actually is the X-Force stuff that she's in. Is that Remender? Correct me if I'm wrong, Gore, but I thought that's Remender, and I know you're a big fan. Another person I saw there, another Justin, friend of mine, who his name's Justin, who I know from Instagram. He's a local guy here, and I've run into him at a couple shops and local cons and things like that. So it was nice talking with him, catching up with him. He saw while I was doing my wheeling and dealing with some of these books. So that was cool. Hey, we got Kevin in the house, Superpower Review. What's going on, Kevin? Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. JP says you're coming to C2E2. Oh, are you? Yeah, you going? Oh, you bought it this weekend. That's awesome. 3-day pass. That's so cool. I'm going for 2 days. I'm actually going to go. I'll be there for the third day. I'm just not going to be at the con. I had to work it out. I had to work it out because I wanted to. So my girlfriend and I were going for like 6 days to Chicago, and it's going to be like a day before the con. I think we're going to arrive Thursday. I'm going to go to the con Friday and Saturday. Lady No Good is not going to be at the con, but she'll be in Chicago exploring. She has some friends there as well. And then Monday, we're going to take that time to really explore the city and just enjoy Chicago because I've never been out. I've been to Chicago once earlier this year. I literally went for 1 day because I had to go for work. I did not get to see a thing. I literally went in, got off the plane, got into a Uber, drove to the city, went into a building, did a bunch of presentations, and then got back in the Uber and left. That was like my day in Chicago. So I really didn't get. So I say I haven't really been in Chicago because I haven't really seen anything other than the one road that I was on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, JP. And I didn't realize that you're going. That's so cool because I'd love to finally meet you, man, in person. Obviously, we've done so much, and you're just a great guy. So looking forward to that. We're gonna have to make sure that when we take if we take a photo or something that I'm standing on something so no one sees the height difference. Let's see. Candace here says, "Yeah, can't wait to meet you with everyone at C2E2." Yeah, Candace is going to be there as well. Candace, did you get your tickets yet? Because I got my tickets just earlier this weekend. They went on sale. I think Tuesday they went on sale. So I got Friday and Saturday. I would definitely consider looking into them soon. I don't know how quickly they sell out or not, but my man Comics and Culture, he was also at the show. I actually posted a photo of him over on Instagram. So go check that out. It's in my video that I put together. So it was so great to finally meet Comics and Culture. He is such a nice guy. Met him and a buddy of his. And just nice to, put a face to a name. And we've been talking for so long, met you through Instagram, probably 2, maybe more years ago. And it's just been so nice to getting to know you over the years. And so really nice. You're local, man. You're fairly close to me. So it's I'm glad we were finally able to run into each other. I'm glad you said something, and really great to connect. JP says we need to convince John. I am on board with that, JP. I am totally on board with that. I don't know if John was here earlier. If he's watching now, John, please. Yeah, that would be so cool to have him there. Let's see. My dad is saying go Baltimore Con. Everyone is invited. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody's invited. Definitely go to that. Like I said, my dad's going to be there. He'll have a booth set up. Dad, are you going? I think you mentioned you weren't going for all 3 days, but that you were considering at least Saturday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, something like that. I have some friends that want to meet you and talk with you. I know my man Morbius was just talking about you yesterday with Morbius, and he was just saying how much of a role you play in his childhood of growing up, getting into comics, and why he got into comics. It was really cool to hear some of that from Morbius. And so he wants to meet you. I told him we definitely gotta, plan something. So yeah, let me know, Dad. We'll set something up for that. Mercy's got to go. Good to see you, man. And thank you, everybody, right now. It's about an hour stream right now. I didn't mean to go this long, but yeah, just so many things. And I wanted to share that story because it was just so cool to like work deals, and I haven't really done trades before. So I guess my point of all this is like it can happen. It can work out for you especially if you're new. Like I'm newer to this stuff, so like I've never done this before. So for anyone who's unsure of making trades or selling something at a fair price to basically transfer to someone else, especially within the same show, it's a great opportunity. And that's why, and again, shout out to Paul Morris. He's the one that initially kind of gave me the idea, is to start bringing some books with you to carry around as potential trade, because it is a great opportunity to do. And especially if you're not in that situation where you can just shell out thousands of dollars. And I get that. I can't do that. So, this is another way to be able to potentially buy these books at very great deals, like fair deals. If you see something you never know. Sometimes you just, look, I got like, I'm gonna hold it up again just because I love it. I got this. It was $625. Like, I just feel like that's such a great deal that I looked it up on Go Collect, and as CGC Go Collect, this book is going for like, I think the latest sell was like $850 or something like that, $800. And I know that this was even more at one point when she was first coming out in the Logan film, but it was a steal of a deal for me. I just felt like, and again, shout out to Zap Comics, shout out to Ben for this awesome deal. $625 for this book was so good. I could not pass it up. I had to figure out a way to make this work. And so again, if I was just trading off those two books, I will do that every time, especially for a mutant book. And again, like the Avengers 83, it just didn't mean as much to me. It was something I thought I was getting into when I was first collecting, and I bought it as just a key book I thought I wanted to have, and as it sat on my shelf, it was just a book I didn't really care for. Never really read anything about Valkyrie or the Enchantress or anything like that. Obviously, this plays a much bigger role in my collection and in my me being in the hobby of comics. So it was that so much more important for me to have a book like this, to have Laura Kinney in my collection, and so for $625, yeah. I'll do that trade all day. So if anyone out there is like trying to get big books and you don't have the cash necessarily to do it, or you're not willing to do the cash for it, think of some other ways to go about it. Look at what else you have in your collection. Not saying you got to become a seller or anything, or flip any books or anything, but trading is a great way to go about it to kind of make certain opportunities happen. So definitely possible. Oh, look at that. My dad said free comics, sketches, prints for friends of Justin. Look at that. Oh, hey, Dad, get ready. I'm going to I'll be sending a bunch of people your way. Yeah, no, I mean, even they just want to talk to you even. So it'll be cool. I think it'll be a fun time. And it'll be nice. You have a booth, so I'll be able to, I could drop some stuff off at the booth if I'm carrying around too much. But no, I'm looking forward to Baltimore. Definitely looking forward to Baltimore. I think that X-Force was, Chris Yost. Oh, okay. Good call on the X-Force. Sorry, I'm catching up on the comments here. Sam says he normally goes to South Jersey, but I did make it to Zap Comics last visit in December. Not the main store though. Oh man, go to the main store. Wayne is such a game changer, man. And I'll tell you what, Sam, if you're coming from South Jersey on your way up, or even through, I mean, even Central Jersey has a great, a bunch of great shops. I think it's worth it for you to drive up to Zap. Also because there's like 4 or 5 others in the area, like 20 minutes away, that you could also go visit. So that's an opportunity, just something you could turn into, even if there's not a Comic-Con necessarily going around, that might be worth it. Or like I said, if there's another King Con like this one that I just went to yesterday, definitely try to line that up. But it seems like King Con, it looks like they're going to be aiming these around this time of year, mid-March, late March, to try to land these shows. But who knows? Who knows what the crew is going to end up doing? But either way, it's a fantastic show, and I expect that there will definitely be more. JP says, yeah, I will be there the whole week, hang out with my sister, niece, and nephew. Nice, JP, very nice. Yeah, we're gonna definitely we're no questions asked. We're getting together, maybe grab some dinner or something like that. It would be really cool to sit down, hang out with you, and obviously so many other folks that are going to be there at this event. I never get to go out to the Midwest, so it'd be nice to change up the environment kind of compared to always being here in the tri-state area. And yeah, I'll be there. I'll be flying out Tuesday. I mean, I'll be heading back home that Tuesday after. So, I'll be there for a couple of days. Definitely want to explore, try out some of the restaurants there, things like that. Okay, Gore says no, before Remender. Yeah, okay, yep. Got it. Chris Yost and Craig Kyle. So there is an X-Force though, by Remember. If I'm not mistaken, that I'm picturing. But yeah, I guess it is, as you're saying, it's before Remender. But good to know. Carlito said that's my city. Wish I still lived there. I'd show you all the spots. Oh, you're talking about Chicago? That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, hey, come on back out, man. Come on back out for C2E2. It'd be awesome. Bobby says next month is Plant Comic Con in KC. Come on down, man. I mean, I've never been out to KC, but that's cool too. Never heard of Plant Comic Con, but glad to see that there is one out there. Candace says no, but I'm likely going 2 days. I might get the 3-day pass since it's cheaper that way. Oh, is it cheaper? Wait, don't tell me that. Is it cheaper to get a 3-day pass? I just bought 2 individual tickets. I think it was like $90 or something like that. Man, I didn't even think of that. Should have looked at that. Yeah, it would be for Friday and Saturday. I'll definitely be there Friday and Saturday for sure. I got to see who else is going to be there. I can't wait for that. Gore says my copy of Nyx 3 has a nice drawing of Middleton, by Middleton, of Laura Kinney as she appears in the cover. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, I was just talking to. So I mentioned my buddy Justin, who was at shop. Man, I can't think of his handle right now. It's underscore comic. It starts with underscore. He's the local guy, another Justin. He was telling me, he was like, guess how much I bought that, Nyx 3 for? And I'm like, I thought he was gonna tell me a story like, he overpaid or whatever. He's like $3.99. I bought it for $3.99 back off the shelf. I mean, he's been collecting for a long time too. So I was like, man, I wish that I was collecting at that time to be able to buy that right off the shelf would be amazing. But yeah, good stuff either way. Yeah, it sounds like you got a cool one there, Gore, to have Middleton kind of sketch that in. Uncanny Swag says Uncanny X-Force. Thank you. That's right. It is Uncanny, not just X-Force. Uncanny X-Force. Good call there. JP, Bobby, JP's going to be there. Guys got to meet up. That'd be cool. Michelle is in the house. Moonlit Comics. By the way, speaking of Michelle, I'm going to be over on her channel this Wednesday to talk Philadelphia Volume 3 with her, Inja, I believe Eric, Azor's Tiger, who was here in the chat earlier, and a few other folks. So definitely check that out. If you don't follow or subscribe to Moonlit, definitely do so. And Michelle, check this out. This is the book I got. If you're just joining, anybody just joining, got Laura Kinney first appearance in a 9.4 CBCS old label. Very excited. Some wheeling and dealing there. And I got a bunch of other stuff too, by the way. I got thought I got a piece of tape on one of my books. That would have been bad. Yeah, I got a bunch of Doctor Strange. I know Michelle's been a fan of a lot of this stuff as well. I got these from Erod, so good stuff there. Yeah, definitely a bunch of other good things as well. Some X books and things like that. Check it out. Let's see. Well, it's cheaper because the third day would only be like $9. Oh, okay. So like you might as well pay the extra $9 just to have. I mean, it's not bad. I know that we're probably gonna be checked out and moving it deeper into the city by Sunday. But yeah, I totally get you there. You might as well, especially if you never know, if you change your mind, you end up going. It's worth it for the extra $9. So that's understandable. Let's see. Yeah, there's Eric. Yeah, looking forward to Wednesday for sure. Yeah, Michelle, King Kon was amazing. It was so cool. It was very much like Terrificon type vibes. I was saying that earlier. Definitely something I think you'd appreciate, and obviously a ton of people that are there. So really good stuff. Gore says, is that a graded Saga book on your wall as well? Yes, it is, Gore. It's a 9.8 Saga issue number 1. first printing that I got from a buddy of mine who I used to play Magic the Gathering with. He was cleaning up his house or whatever, and he said he came across a bunch of comic books, and he was willing to. He didn't want them anymore, and he put it on Facebook. He asked if anybody wanted them. That was when I was first getting into comics. I didn't really know what I was getting into, but one of the first indies I was checking out was Saga, and so I started looking at prices, and I'm like, man, Saga's like, it was $350 at that point for a 9.8. And I wanted a 9.8, and I'm like, oh man, that's just too much money. So I talked to my friend. I go, what kind of comics you got? And he goes, oh, I got. And he named Saga as one of the series that he has. And he ended up offering me, I offered him. He just said he had the books. He's like, what do you want to give me for them? I said, I'll give you $150 for that. He had issues 1 through 18. So he had issues 1 through 18, and that was I got it for $150, and they're all raw. But he said they're like under his bed or something. They weren't touched. So I sent that one into CGC. It came back in 9.8. It was my first experience sending to CGC, so it worked out rather well. And I know how you feel about Saga Gore. But yeah, I was very happy, very excited to have that in the PC. Yes, sir. X23. Yes, sir. Let's see. Subscribe. Thanks. JP says I always go all 3 days. Oh, he's talking about for the other one. So yeah, thank you, Michelle, and everybody that's here hanging. I'm gonna wrap this up because it's been over an hour. Apparently, I can talk a lot, and so yeah, that's the proof there. But thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate everybody. If you were at the King Kon show, shout out to all of you. It was so great to see everybody. The great books that I got. I'm excited to I'll post some of them later on. I'm going to read Bag and Board. Looking forward to doing that later today. And just kind of hanging out the rest of the day. By the way, tomorrow I'm going to be on Comic Gories. I'm terrified, but I'm going to be on Comic Gories. So a shout out to JP and John from John's Comics with Kids. They are hosting, as usual, that show. A show that Matt, the boy who had 7, his show that he had initially put together. They do an awesome job with Comic Gories. I'll be teaming up with Shy Comic Girl, Haley. Her and I will be teaming up against the other 3 teams to do Comic Gories. So I'm nervous. If you don't know that game show, you should definitely check it out. It's like categories. They name random topics, and you have to find a cover that is related to that topic, and you have to really who can show the better cover. You only have like 30 seconds to find a book. So if they say rain cover, you have to go find a book that is related or relative to rain or has rain on the front or whatever, and then compare and contrast who has the better book. So it's a lot of fun. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Very nervous. But that's going to be on that's tomorrow night, 9:00 Eastern, I believe. Tuesday I have Omni X-Men, so I'll be doing that with John from John's Comics with Kids. I don't know actually let me just see who our guest is. We just had Eric. Oh, we'll have Haley. Oh, wow. Look at that. So 150 is we're doing X-Men 150 with Haley. So back-to-back streams with John and Haley. That's really cool. Monday night, Tuesday night. And then Wednesday night, as I mentioned, will be Moonlit. So definitely go sub up to her as well. Moonlit and Eric and Inja and a few others, I believe. Talking Philadelphia, Volume 3. Oh, nice. I redeemed. Yes, redeemed by the next 3 resubscribed. Whew. Good call there. Yeah, man, absolutely. Thanks for hanging, man. I appreciate it, Swag. Nice hanging with you all. Absolutely. Station everybody. Appreciate everybody that's come and hang out. Says, don't worry, Justin. John and I totally wouldn't pick Comic Gories to exploit your collection weaknesses. Yeah, true. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a great time. If you guys don't know Comic Gories, definitely check it out. A lot of the community members are there just hanging out, voting. You get to vote for, whose cover was better, things like that. So just a lot of fun. And you can even participate. I believe you can send in a screenshot of a book that you have to JP, and he'll show it up on the screen in between each round. So that's fun kind of way to kind of engage and be part of it. So okay, that's it. Smash that like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Again, this was just showing off what I got at the hunt for the King Kon show. So much fun. Looking forward to next year. Great seeing everybody. But until next time, happy Sunday, and I'll talk to you.